This is Top Accolade Global News Update. I am Abiodun Mohammed. Ukraine's president said Russian troops were holding the Zaporizhzhia nuclear plant hostage and its safety could not be guaranteed until they left it, while his forces shot off the frontline town of Avdiivka as they planned their next move. Russian troops have occupied the nuclear power plant, Europe's largest, since the early weeks of the invasion of Ukraine and have shown no inclination to relinquish control. In quote, holding a nuclear power station hostage for more than a year, this is surely the worst thing that has ever happened in the history of European or worldwide nuclear power, President Volodymyr Zelensky said in his nightly video address. He decried the Russian presence as radiation blackmail. His comments followed a meeting with Rafael Grossi, the Director General of the International Atomic Energy Agency (IAEA), at the Dnipro hydroelectric power station northeast of the Zaporizhzhia plant. Initiatives on restoring safety and security are doomed to failure without a withdrawal of Russian troops from the plant, Zelensky said in comments posted on the presidential website. Russia and Ukraine routinely accuse each other of shelling the Zaporizhzhia plant, fighting around it, and worries of a water shortage and that cooling systems could lose power have raised fears of a nuclear disaster. At least 6 Palestinians have been injured after being attacked by Israeli settlers in the Palestinian town of Wara, south of Nablus, in the occupied West Bank. The town is the site of a settler rampage last month that killed 1 Palestinian and injured hundreds of others before Israel's finance minister, Bezalel Smotrich, called for it to be wiped out. Monday night's attack came a few hours before a Palestinian man succumbed to gunshot wounds he sustained during a large-scale Israeli military raid last month in Nablus. 11 Palestinians were killed and more than 100 others were injured in what was described as a massacre. The official Palestinian news agency Wafa identified the man as Omer Lola and said it was from the village of Zawata near Nablus. A funeral was held for him in Nablus on Tuesday morning, shortly after health officials announced his death. In Wara, one of the 6 men wounded was hospitalized with serious injuries to the head, the Palestinian Ministry of Health said. Palestinian media outlets said settlers physically assaulted Palestinians during the attack, as well as set fire to homes and vehicles, sprayed pepper spray, and damaged cars, homes, and shops. The attack began to unfold during iftar time when Palestinian Muslims were breaking their day-long fast. France's labor unions appealed to President Emmanuel Macron on Tuesday to hit pause on his plans to raise the legal retirement age as a new round of demonstrations and strikes got underway and the authorities deployed thousands of police. Millions of people have been demonstrating largely peacefully and joining strike action since mid-January to show their opposition to Macron's plans to make most of them work an extra 2 years to 64. But public frustration has evolved into broader anti-Macron sentiments. The protests have intensified since the government used special constitutional powers to bypass parliament on a final vote on the pensions bill almost 2 weeks ago, bringing scenes of chaos reminiscent of unrest by supporters during Macron's first term as president. Interior Minister Gerald Damanin on Monday said authorities had seen a trend towards more violence directed against the state and were anticipating a very serious risk to public order at demonstrations expected in cities including Paris, Lyon, Nantes, and Bordeaux. A total of 13,000 police will be deployed during the protest throughout the day, more than ever before. Damanin said motorways in several French cities were blocked on Tuesday morning, and strikes in the transport, aviation, and energy sectors continued to disrupt part of public infrastructure. The United Nations says a prominent Afghan girls' education activist has been arrested in Kabul and called on Taliban authorities to clarify the reason for his detention. In quote, Mutiula Wesa, head of PENPAF, an advocate for girls' education, was arrested in Kabul on Monday. The UN mission in Afghanistan, UNAMA, said in a statement on Tuesday. Spokespeople for the Taliban administration's information ministry and intelligence agency did not immediately respond to a request for comment or confirm the detention. Wesa, who comes from southern province of Kandahar, has for years advocated for girls' education, particularly in rural areas, including during the tenure of the previous Western-backed foreign government, when he said many girls living in the countryside were not reached by education services. His organization, PENPAF, has held meetings with tribal elders, encouraged communities and authorities to open schools, and disbursed books and mobile libraries. Local reports said Taliban security forces arrested Wesa after his return from a trip to Europe. China spent $240 billion bailing out 22 developing countries between 2008 and 2021, with the amount soaring in recent years as more have struggled to repay loans spent building Belt and Road infrastructure. A study published on Tuesday showed almost 80% of the lending was made between 2016 and 2021, mainly to middle-income countries, including Argentina, Mongolia, and Pakistan, according to the report by researchers from the World Bank, Harvard Kennedy School, AidData, and the Kiel Institute for the World Economy. China has lent hundreds of billions of dollars to build infrastructure in developing countries, but lending has tailed off since 2016 as many projects have failed to pay the expected financial dividends. Chinese loans to countries in debt distress soared from less than 5% of its overseas lending portfolio in 2010 to 60% in 2022, the study found. Argentina received the most with $101.8 billion, followed by Pakistan with $48.5 billion and Egypt with $15.6 billion. 9 countries received less than $1 billion. That is the size of top accolade global news update. You can follow us on our social media platforms as displayed on your screen. Happy Tuesday!